Hi, everyone. Welcome to Navigating New Narratives with Cheyenne and Raynell. And welcome our guest, Bill Woods. We know that this is one controversial episode that has been
Just
all
a
over,
little bit.
just a little. It's been all over the internet. People have had mixed feelings about us having him on. Uh, the reasons for having him on, but I think that this episode is going to pleasantly surprise people. And I think we have a lot of really good things to talk about. So Bill, off the bat, I'm going to just kind of ask you, like, what made you start uh, Thunder Bay Open Discussion? What was your motivation behind it? How has it affected you in your life in any way? And what kind of topics were you hoping to come up when you started it? What was it? What was it for?
Okay, starting off hot already. Okay,
Yeah.
Thunder Bay Open Discussions. I started it of probably over 7 years ago now as an option for people, something different than what was available at the time, like uh, the concerned citizens of Thunder Bay group and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
wanted to give people a different voice. And I came out with the group and started with just me and maybe a couple, maybe 10, 15 stragglers from the Concerned Citizens page and started off as just a group where we'd sit back and just bullshit about whatever and what was going on in the city.
Mhm.
And then I started to notice other things like people wanting more of a space where they could openly discuss the news and what was happening without censorship from other group pages and stuff that were censoring their chat. So it just kind of built from there.
Okay. So you were kind of going against the grain when it came to the other groups like the Real Concerned Citizens, the Thunder Bay Court.
Yeah, like I
Okay.
found a lot of them were kind of just out to more bash the people and stuff like that. Whereas I kind of gave people more of the actual news that was happening in Thunder Bay and letting them discuss it. And then it just grew from there and became a place where people can air their thoughts and feelings and everything.
Yeah. That no, that makes sense. And that's a good that is a good original goal to have set for a group. Yeah, Raynell, I don't know if you have any thoughts. It looks like you have some
Yeah,
thoughts going on in your head right
yeah,
now.
um, yeah. So, like, one of the things I've noticed about the previous pages that you were talking about was there was like a lot of really horrible things that were happening. And I remember before when I was in um my active use, it was like you didn't want to end up on those pages. Like
Yeah,
it
exactly.
it was horrible. Cheyenne and I had a mutual friend that was like plastered all over there all the time, and it was just horrible. So like everyone worried about ending up on that page. So like Cheyenne was just saying, I think the original intent for that page what is a beautiful thing to try to just focus on the news. Um,
Yeah,
but I
no,
would say like I think it's go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I think it's like morphed a little bit into both sides of the coin when it comes to that, right? Like we see some horrible things being said on
And
there. Um
I'm
and we also see a lot of people in there trying to like educate and be positive. So it's like two sides of a coin. But
You
that's
can't,
also that's humanity,
Right,
right? Like there's
you can't
always
impress everyone.
right.
If I was to go out and try to run a group that everybody loved and everybody supported and everybody followed, it would be impossible.
Oh
I
yeah.
would never be able to keep everybody happy.
Oh,
right.
100%. I
100%.
totally agree with you. Um,
Yeah.
there's some rhetoric out there. There's some
Yeah.
yes, and there is some screenshots that I saw. You had explained to me what they were about. Um, we had a very nice discussion. You have always been extremely kind and extremely respectful to me, and I will say that from the bottom of my heart. And I was very upfront with you, very honest about the screenshots that I saw and how it kind of made me feel like a little
Mhm.
bit taken aback. And then, some of the people that are very big supporters of Rainell and I questioning our decision to have you on. But I will give you, once I'm done talking, once I'm done this little spiel, the opportunity to address those. But when Raynell and I talked about it, we thought to ourselves, who are we to be the judge of somebody's character without knowing who they are personally themselves? And a lot of the issues that you bring up yourself on that platform are valid issues. Like the ones that
Yeah,
when you speak about, the needles in the area and you walk your dog and nobody is cleaning it
that's
up. And
correct.
yes, and all of that kind of stuff. I see those as very valid concerns. And Raynell and I wanted somebody who kind of wasn't um exactly like thought like us, like we're huge advocates for harm reduction and active addiction because we love and support everybody at all stages of addiction. And then you don't seem like the complete opposite side, but maybe just a little bit on a different level than we
A
are.
different, a
Yes,
different point, a different way of approaching it.
exactly. So that's what we
We're
want to hear.
all looking for the same thing. We're all looking to improve the situation. It's just some people, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I've said that many a times.
I'm not
And,
either.
and I think and I think like it's impossible. Just like you were
Yeah,
saying with the page, it's impossible to make everybody happy. It's impossible to be everybody's cup of tea. It's just not gonna happen. Like Cheyenne and I
Yeah.
have experienced our own um negative comments in regards to what we're doing. But Bill, I think you said it perfectly. Um, and Cheyenne and I have talked about this on previous podcasts, ones that haven't been aired yet. But at the end of the day, don't we all want the same thing as like to see people well? It's just we all go about it in a different way. And
right.
Exactly.
I think just some of the ways that we approach it are obviously complete not I wouldn't say it's different
It,
completely, yeah, it is completely different from the way that Cheyenne and I approach things, and especially like I approach things through like love, light, and positivity for all people, and I try to be super careful on the ways that I word things and talk about particular situations. Um,
but what I will
and I
say
think
though,
that's where we differ,
yeah, definitely.
which
But
isn't a bad thing.
what I
But
will say though is, Bill, I've never seen you actively attack anybody on, and this is just me. I haven't been following you for a very long time, so don't like this. I don't know you going back from 2017. 2017 I was on the streets and I was an addict and I was not on the internet because I did not have a phone. So I have not been following you for a very long time, but I don't see you doing the same things that the other groups were doing. That I do not see. So when I look,
I'm not.
yeah, I see you bringing up valid concerns of somebody who is very frustrated. And the thing is for me, I live out in Southern Ontario. Even when I lived in Thunder Bay, I lived in the country. I was not in close quarters with living around other people that were in active addiction like I was. Raynell isn't in close quarters, but you are. So can you give us that perspective? Like, can you give us where that frustration comes from so that maybe we can understand a little bit better what it's like to be on the outside looking in and being very close knit with them, like not friendship wise, but just in close quarters. Can you let us know what that's like?
I am friends with. That's the thing. A lot of the people think I hate the homeless.
Right,
I do not hate the homeless.
right.
There are many homeless who I come across who have met me, who have met Bella along our travels, who come around and yell for me to stop, just so that they can stop and see my dog and give her affection and stuff like that. And I wouldn't be supporting people like my friend Russell, who I think is an amazing Aboriginal artist who walks the streets and sells his art just trying to survive. I
Hmm.
wouldn't be going out and giving out like 2 packs of cigarettes a month just to people who walk up to me and say, "Hey, can I have a cigarette?" I wouldn't be going around being known as, "Hey, the nice guy downtown."
Hmm.
I wouldn't be that.
Right. Right. So what do you think? I know that you're very so for Raynell and I, like we have like well, for me, I have traumas. Raynell brushes things off pretty freaking easy, and I am so jealous of her when it comes to that. But um, when we get attacked online, I kind of turn to like, oh man, and I feel sad, and I get like really depressed, and like I feel like it's an attack. Raynell's just like, what? We got attacked online? I I didn't see that. That it happened 2 weeks ago right now. Oh, okay. Well, I was just doing my own thing. Like she brushes it off. And then for me, just I go back to this like childhood self of mine where I feel so sad inside. And I don't but I also am not like a confrontational person because confrontation gives me a lot of anxiety due to everything that I've been through. So when all of that confrontation happens online, it gets me very anxious and in very sad state. Raynell can tell you because I've spoken to her about it lots when that happens to me, but she's helping me through that. For you, on the other hand, when this happens to you, you have a very different response. So
Oh, very different.
very different. So can you talk about the reason why you respond the way that you do?
The reason why I respond the way I do,
Yeah.
quite simply, I couldn't give a flying fuck about what people think about me.
And you
I
know,
don't care what people say about me. I don't care about screenshots people take of me and try and post together to try and bash my name. I don't care about people who sit there and call me an animal abuser because, oh my God, 10 years ago I had a dog that I didn't have the heart to put down.
right.
I don't care about what people think of me. You attack me, guess what? I'm going to give it back to you 10 times worse than you gave it to me. That's just who I am.
Hmm. Yeah. And people take that, I think, sometimes as like, you know, well, Raynell, you speak on that because I don't know exactly the right words to use.
Um, so I would say like yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how to word this either, but um I know for myself when things come up, I kind of go I don't let things bother me either. And I wouldn't come at it the way that you do, Bill, but good for you in regards of like standing up for yourself. You're obviously
I,
confident in who you are, what you're doing. And I'm kind of like the same way as like I'm not gonna let anybody's words bring me down or cause me harm. At the end of the day, like I know who I am, I know what I'm doing, I know what I stand for. So people's opinions, like I'm open for feedback all the time. I love feedback. Like unless if I don't get any feedback, I can't grow as an individual. But what I won't put up with is um people like attacking me,
Yeah.
but
basically.
see, I get that. I get people daily who send me messages thanking me for what I do and thanking me for being so blunt and thanking me for being just a real person.
Right.
Right. Right.
But then I also get the people who don't like me, who attack me, who call me every name in the book. Who I've been having this for years. So it just kind of rolled off my back now. I couldn't care less what people think of me.
Yeah. And you know what? Like
I
it's
worry about me.
right, right. And I commend both of you in both of your approaches to that because I wish I had that. I internalize everything. And the fact that you can let things roll off your back like that. The problem is that I'm just as outspoken as you, Bill, but I can't take it.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. But I mean, but
I
I
think
will
it just came with age.
it does come with age, yeah. But I
I
also
think
it also has to do with my past as well, I think. But I'm not afraid to say what I think and what I stand for. Raynell either. But she honestly thinks always nothing but nice things. So like so so
see,
it's like she's
that's
not
another thing. Like,
controversial in that way, you know? So,
I
and
wouldn't say that I'm controversial at all.
no, you're not.
But there has been times where Cheyenne and I will approach things completely different and she'll be like, "Holy man, you're that was straightforward, but you said it so nice that it doesn't sound
Yeah,
so straightforward."
hmm? Yeah.
Which is
exactly.
a little bit funny because we're we all approach things differently, and of course that's going to be the situation, and that's like with all of humanity, we're all going to have different approaches and ways of handling things. But I would say in regards to like controversial statements and stuff like that, I'm not as outspoken,
Right.
and I don't necessarily forefrontly approach things that I know are going to cause a lot of different things. Like, of course, I'll stand right beside Cheyenne
Mhm.
in all of those things, but I'm not. I like to be on. To be honest, Bill, and I mean this in the most loving ways. Like, I don't go to those any of those types of pages ever. Like, I
Yeah.
really I don't, and I
I
don't because I I can't handle sometimes seeing some of the negative things that are said because it hurts my heart. And then that's where I will internalize things is like, I just wish people could understand it and feel the way that I feel, or you know what I mean? Things that I don't necessarily have control over. So for me, it's difficult.
Right.
And I don't want to
see
say
a lot.
anything because I know that it's going to cause a big problem. And that's where Cheyenne's different. And I admire her for that. She struggles with it and she still approaches it.
Hmm.
That's a beautiful thing. I'm the opposite. Like it bothers me, but I don't want the confrontation. And that also has a lot to do with my previous trauma and my childhood situation is I just avoid things that cause conflict.
Right. Well, I want to go back to
Yeah.
my original question to you, Bill, as well. What is
Okay.
what is it like living in close proximity to Pace, to Elevate, to the shelter house? You have expressed a lot of frustration. Um, Talk to us about that. Like, talk to us about the other side of the coin, because I know that whenever I post things about addiction and recovery, and people are like, oh, who cares? You're just an ex-addict. They're all narcissists and everybody thinks that like this and you coddle addicts and you do this and you do that. So I want to hear the other side, the other side. I want to hear where that's coming from because I know that that's coming from frustration on their part from dealing with people that are in addiction. So I know that you have that frustration. So I want to hear it from you. What is it? What's the
Okay.
frustration?
Actually, this is where it's going to get really fun.
Okay.
You know what? I used I used to be the bad guy.
Hmm.
I used to be the slime in the streets. I used to sell. I used to do. I used to be addicted. You know what it took for me to get out of it? For me to open my eyes, to look around, to see people, to see my loved ones going through it, to see loved ones going through it from until the day they die.
Hmm.
Like, am I supposed to just sit back and coddle them or baby them? Or am I supposed to sit there and go, you know what? Wake the fuck up.
Okay. I see it. No, I see the I see the different approaches. Like I do. I understand that. Like I understand I don't agree with it. Like that's I don't I'm not saying I agree with it. That's not what the way I would do it,
That's
but I can see where that frustration would be, where you see your loved ones and you're like just
that's what it took for
ah
me.
yeah. Yeah. No, I
It took
get it.
me to wake the fuck up. It took me to see some of the worst things you could ever think of seeing.
Yeah.
It took me seeing people like almost dying in my house in order for me to go, you know what? This is not the life for me.
Right.
I've been, like I said, I've been everywhere from the bad guy to the good guy
Yeah.
to I've been a stay-at-home father in my life. I haven't always been the asshole everybody knows online. I
Hmm.
haven't always been the king of controversy like people seem to think.
Hmm. But
So
I've been there.
what makes you the asshole online? Like I don't you know like I don't know. Like I don't know. I
Sometimes,
just
I'm sorry, sometimes we need an asshole. If I was to sit back and I was to do nothing and sit back and be quiet and just let things like what's happening down by Pace happen and not stand up and not
yeah.
get people's attention,
Mhm.
guess what? It would just keep getting worse. Now that I am kind of the asshole, that I am not afraid to say what's on my mind, to raise my voice, to swear every once in a while, all of a sudden, I have people from Pace unofficially showing up at my door asking me to stop bashing them. Have I got their attention now?
Yeah. Yeah. And what about
yeah, that's a really a good way of, I
It
guess,
went
like,
from being ignored to
Mhm.
do I have your attention now?
Yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes when you just sit back being quiet and being meek and everything,
Yeah.
you get walked over.
Yeah.
You don't get noticed. You
Yeah.
don't get what you want. Sometimes you have to stand up and say, get the fuck with it.
Yeah.
Come on, please. Wake the fuck up.
Yeah.
Do what you're supposed to be doing. Advocate for these people. Don't tell me, oh, I'm sorry. We're only responsible for what happens within the walls of our cooling center. What about what's happening in your back lane right outside your cooling center?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be bringing in people who are supposed to be trying to clean their lives up and fight addiction into the apartments above the building. How good of a recovery location is that going to be if they look out their window or walk out of their door and there's people shooting needles into their arms or smoking crack. Is that going to be a good place for them to recover?
I see your
Yeah, I
point.
understand completely what you're saying, and I know
Why
Cheyenne has
can't they
talked to
step up?
what
Why can't they clean up the back lane? Why
yeah.
can't they move these people along? Why can't they?
I think a lot of it, Bill, like I I'm not like super close with Pace, but I do work with Elevate, and I can speak on some of the things that we experience when we're trying to move people along is like systemic poverty is huge. The lack of affordable housing is huge. But not only just that, like those are two things that we all know are a problem within our city. We all know that that is the problem, but also the lack of treatment centers, the lack of support and compassion available to walk people through the steps in order to get them where they need to be. So I wanted to ask this question to you earlier, Bill, but we kind of moved along. So I'm going to ask it now.
Okay.
And I'm also going to say thank you for sharing a little bit about your previous experiences. I didn't know that. So thank you so much. But in regards to that, my question for you is if you've watched our podcast, you've heard my journey, you've heard Cheyenne's journey about like how we achieved our recovery and our wellness journey. But like Bill, what were the steps that you took during your hard moments to get to the place you are now? Because you've explained that you did do all of these things previously. You did use substances, this all the things. You used to sell all of that kind of stuff. And then you decided that enough was enough. How did you move through that journey on in your story? For me, I
Just
went to a treatment center. Cheyenne went was incarcerated. That's how we started. But what is your journey to wellness look like?
just decided that that wasn't the life for me and turned my back on it,
Yeah,
walked
That's
away.
incredible.
yeah.
That's
I've had
hard to do. That's incredible.
it is hard to
Yeah.
do. It's
I,
kind
s- but the thing is, opened my eyes. I seen what was happening around me. I had people showing up at my door Christmas morning with a truck camper full of children's Christmas presents, Christmas morning, showing up going, hey, can I trade this for
right.
whatever?
Mhm.
Oh, get the things like that. Things like seeing somebody seizure on my floor.
Yeah.
Things like walking down the street and seeing people on their hands and knees digging through the dirt and digging through trying to find that last rock that they might have dropped in the freaking dirt. Seeing that and just going, that's not the life I want to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know,
Yeah.
that's very commendable. It's kind of like my story. Like I know I was incarcerated, but I was incarcerated many times before that time, so it wasn't really the incarceration that had got me clean, but I had enough of the life. Like I said, you know, I'm tired of being tired. And I've heard a lot of people say that phrase, you know, like it's just gotten too much. I'm going to ask
Yeah.
a quick
And like
question. I'm just going to ask a
everybody,
quick question to both of
oh,
you before we continue. Am I glitching at all during this interview?
yeah.
Am I glitching?
Not really.
Okay,
Not
just a
really.
little bit, not much. Okay, that's good. Um,
A little bit.
just a little bit. Okay. Um, so yeah, so I get that. I do. Like I understand that. And I feel like the frustrations that you're feeling are the exact same frustrations that we're feeling, but they're just directed in a totally opposite direction. Do you know what I mean?
We
Like,
can't all be the same.
right,
I'm
exactly.
not everybody's cup of tea.
But you're
I'm
not,
not
but
going
you're
to
not
be,
alone, Bill.
um,
So many people feel the same way as you. Like, and
I have people walk up to me when I'm walking down the street, shake my hand and go, thank you for what you're doing.
yes.
Thank you for giving us a voice. Thank you for taking this into the light. Thank you for pressuring the city to try and clean this up.
Yeah.
Thank you for pressuring these organizations to try and change and try and do work.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Like it's not all hate I get. I
it,
get people
yeah.
literally thanking me.
Mhm.
And I believe it. I
Yeah, of
100%
course.
believe it. And it's funny because talking to you, I just get this sense that like we all are on the same page. Like we all are.
I'm
Even
just very passionate.
but you're like but it's just directed differently. Like you know what I mean? Like it's just there's just two different.
I feel like we're all trying to find a solution. And I think at the end of the day, since we've all kind of like experienced these things, it all comes from a good heart and compassion. But like Cheyenne's saying, we're going in kind of different directions. But
Different
I think
direction. You know,
we
like I
had
said, when
an interview not that long ago that we actually just posted, and it's like he stated like we're all on the same page, we're all working to the same goal, let's all continue to do what we're doing and see what sticks, because what needs to happen is
Yeah.
right though, like at the end of the day, I think Bill 100%, there's and Cheyenne and I have talked about this before, we see so much frustration and negativity towards vulnerable populations within our city. And it's not, I don't think it's not, it's directed at the individual, and I wish that it wasn't. I wish it was more directed to the systems in place that are holding people back,
Yeah.
because there are things that we could be doing at a systemic level to improve the outcomes and the circumstances that which would alter of these people, which would ultimately improve our city, but those things aren't happening, right? So I
Sorry, are you guys there?
I was called a crackhead, a pill junkie, all those kind of things. That's just who I am. That's who I've always been. I've called a junkie a junkie. I'll call a crackhead a crackhead. Just
I
like
just
I was called my the entire time I was there.
yeah.
Do you see
I feel
do you,
like I'm different in that regard
well,
because um I was called all of those things, and in that life I called myself that and I called my peers that.
oh
That
yeah,
and but
well
that's
like
because
in your
that's
life.
what we heard.
Right.
But now I refuse. I refuse to do that because those words hurt.
They do.
And
They hear,
there's
but
so much
sometimes you
it's
need to hear it.
I don't think I see that's where I disagree with you, Bill. I don't think they need to hear that. They already hear that. They already, at least in my experience, I already felt like shit about myself. I didn't need to hear what other people, because it actually pushed me deeper. What
Right.
I
And
think people need is a little bit of compassion and understanding and a push in the right direction and support. But I don't need somebody telling me something I already know that I feel super shitty about.
Yeah.
So that's where you and I differ on our approach.
Yeah. And you know what? I was trying to switch internet connections there. I'm really sorry. I don't know if I froze during that time. But I got back into the conversation during Junkie and Crackhead. So I just
Yeah.
wanted to talk about that. So I remember I got posted on that page. I got posted on the Thunder Bay courthouse page. And it said, mother of three to accused killer Charles Casme out on bail. How come the police has not told anybody that she's out on bail? And it had my mugshot. And it took like, my mugshots are bad, but they took the worst one out of all of them to post on there, of course. But, anyways, so, and then calling me all of these names. And when I got sober, my mission was to make sure that when somebody Googled my name, that did not come up on Google because I wanted to move forward with my life. And when people are
well,
bringing,
That's one thing too with me. I don't say put up a picture of somebody and say this person
Right,
is a junkie.
right, right.
I
That's
just say
yeah.
this
It's
or that,
it's
but
just
I
the
do
rhetoric.
not.
It's the rhetoric of once you come out of the addiction, because when you're in the addiction, you're pretty numb. So like being called it, it kind of
Yeah.
keeps you there and stuff, but it doesn't hurt as much as afterwards because afterwards and when you're trying to get better, you label yourself that and then you demean yourself and you internalize that as your moral character. I'm That's all I am as a junkie and that's all I'm ever going to be. That's all I am as a crackhead and that's all anybody's ever going to see about me. Um like it's these types of things that Raynell and I feel are perpetuating the addiction cycle is all of this negativity surrounding addiction because addiction is like I commend you for the way that you got out of addiction and I commend Raynell for the way she got out, everybody that got out of addiction however that they did it I commend them but we are a small percentage. We are not the majority. There's so many still out there. And I know that what fuels Raynell and I to go further in life is feeling good about ourselves and our accomplishments and our and us as people. We have become literal sisters and can go to each other for anything and we build each other up. So as I got better and as Raynell got better, we got our degrees, we got a home, we got our children back, we built relationship. We started to make ourselves disconnect from that label and that identity that we had as addicts. And the more that we disconnected from it, the better we felt and the better we got, and the longer we stayed sober. So if we can cut that label off at the source, it might do good, but I know like it might do more
Some
good
people
than
need
the
to hear
hard
it,
love
though.
approach. It's
Some
what
people need to wake up.
Yes, and that's the hard love approach. And I think, like you said with me, not taking things personally and internalizing, you said it comes with age. And I feel like the hard love approach is one of your generational generation's approach. And
Yeah,
because my dad has the
I'm
hard love
53
approach.
years old.
Yeah, and my dad when I was on
Exactly.
my dad when I
And
was
that's
on the
why me and your
streets,
dad get along so
yes.
well.
And you know what? My dad, when I was on the streets, if he would see me, he ran the other way. If I called him and I said, "Hey, Dad," click, wouldn't even talk to me. Do
Same
not
thing my
come,
parents did.
yep, do not come back and see me until you are better. That's it. Because I'm not going to help you in any way, shape, or form. I never got a dime, nothing. Like you want to do that, you do that on your own and you leave me the heck out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I get the hard love approach. I do. And I think for the younger generation of people that are kind of in my age group or maybe a little bit older, I think that it all comes from super big frustration of seeing the city really getting more and more violent, more and more unsafe. And I
I've
think,
lived
oh,
I've
go
lived
ahead.
in the downtown core for 15 years.
Yeah,
I've seen it deteriorating over the years. Like even the last, say, 5 years,
yeah,
it's gotten worse.
yes. Yeah, yeah,
Somebody needs to wake up,
yeah,
whether it's city council, whether it's these organizations, whether it's even just the random people on the street. Somebody needs to wake up.
yeah,
Who's going to wake up the people? I've even had people come up to me, even though I know I'd be laughed right off the ballot. But I've had people come up to me and say, "Oh, you realize Brian Hamilton isn't running for McKellar Ward this year, right? Oh, you realize Ken Boshkoff isn't running for mayor this year." I get laughed off the ballot, but that's the kind type of some people just think that we need.
Okay,
Some people think we need somebody like me
I want, I wonder if
in
Raynell,
our city to say, you know what? Wake the fuck up.
I'm wondering if Raynell knows the question I want to ask you. Because when you said somebody needs to wake up and I put my hand up, Raynell, can you ask the question that you know that I want to ask?
I'm not 100% sure, so go ahead. I don't know.
Do you think that Raynell and I and what we're doing with our advocacy is waking anybody up?
I believe it is actually waking up people. We
Okay.
need people like you. We need people like me. We need everybody out here working together.
Yeah.
We need people like City Council. We need people like Pace. We need people like Northwest. We need everybody to step up. Because if I look out my window right now, guess what? I can tell you it's not
Right.
stepped up.
So I think that your frustration
Who's going to
is
step
coming
up?
from the band-aid solutions instead of the fact that there isn't a solution. Really, that's where Raynell and I's frustration
Exactly.
comes from too. There is no solution.
Yeah.
That's what we are trying to do is find a solution based off of,
So I just want to say
Exactly.
quickly,
yeah,
um, Cheyenne and I were asked the other day, um, because we're working towards a really high level goal in order to provide um a lot a long-term solution where we walk with people through their whole journey. We were asked when we explained what next step was about, is don't you think that is the responsibility of the government? And we're both like, absolutely it is, but it's not happening.
right.
It's not happening.
Exactly.
So it's Cheyenne and I who are stepping up because we see a gap where people are just falling through all the time. And we
That's
just
what we
can't
need.
stand. We can't stand to see this happening. And I'll say this, and I say it every episode, and people are probably going to get annoyed, but 30-day treatment centers are, to me, a joke.
Yeah,
It's a
Oh,
joke.
I
Like,
get. I, I've seen people go through a 30-day treatment center, come out, be preaching God and everything within those after those 30 days. Within a week, they're back on it. Why? You need to actually want to change.
I don't think it has to do with wanting to change. They want to change, but it takes way more than 30 days to rewire the pathways which
And
years of abuse and addiction have created. I don't know if
and
you've
you
heard
can't
this saying,
walk back
Bill.
into the same situation.
Absolutely, that's exactly what happens. You know why? Because like
We have nowhere else to go,
there's
Bill.
this like
No,
analogy where there's a highway, and for me, I was actively using substances for over 10 years. So that my highway is just like it's round right in there. Like it is pretty
you're the
concrete, it is pretty
401
well
in Southern
worn.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That And so that is the way my brain is firing. That is what my brain knows. So when you're on 30 days, I would say after the first 2 weeks, you start maybe chopping a little bit through the bush beside you to make a new path. But like you're still in the bush. You're still on the grass. You haven't paved the new road in 30 days. There's no way. It's impossible. It doesn't Okay, it's not impossible, but it's very slim to none, not like none without major support systems, major family support, guidance, all of the things to keep you on that path going in that direction. You can't even build a new habit after your withdrawals in that amount of time. It doesn't make sense. So we might get some slack for this, but it's not set up. The system isn't set up for people to be successful. And it's so clear to me.
Yeah.
My recovery journey in treatment was treatment for 2.5, 3 months, and second stage. I was in BC for 6 months, 6 months away from my
Exactly.
family, away from my son. Like, and I was still nervous and I was still unsure.
Yeah.
30 days? Like it
Exactly.
doesn't make sense. It's not long
30
enough.
days and then put back into the exact same
And
situation
that's
that
the problem
Yeah.
too, Bill. That's exactly what the problem is. The problem is there is no aftercare setup. There is no transitioning. There is no, oh
Yeah.
my God.
I know.
Sorry. I
I
just
know.
can't,
I know. It's too much. And
I
you know
just
what
lose
though?
my mind.
There's something that you said, Bill, that kind of resonated with me when you said Pace has apartment buildings up top of Pace to help people get better. Is that what it is? I'm not even sure. Is that what they're for? Are they treatment houses?
from from what my understanding is in talking to them, it's for people who are battling addiction and have one and are trying to get and are on like the meth program or the methadone
Yep.
program and
Yep.
trying to get off the methadone program and trying to better their lives. How well of a life is that going to be when they look out their window and they see it?
So you know what? And I don't
Yeah.
disagree with you on that point. I don't just Raynell, I don't know how
Yeah.
you feel. I
So
don't.
Pace why can't Pace do something like hire security or put some of their workers out and saying, "Oh, hey guys, we don't need you sitting right here, right outside of our building. Can you guys move along? Can you go?"
Right.
Pace had even
Because
took
we have
over
people
half
trying to
of the
cover
parking
us.
lot right along Simpson Street. I thought it was supposed to be for them, but they put up like big concrete barriers. I thought it was going to be for them to have an area for to kind of where they can control the people and if the people are there. No, they're using our back lane for it.
Yeah.
And Pace isn't going and cleaning up that area. Like when I have to personally, as a disabled person, spend 4 hours picking up 5.5 garbage bags full of bio waste, which included dirty needles and used condoms and human feces and you name it. And I personally had to clean that up. And then you wonder where my frustration comes
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, no, I get it.
100%,
I do
Bill.
get it. Yep.
Why can't
Well,
Pace put
thank you
do
for doing that.
community cleanups? Why
Thank you.
can't Pace?
Yep. Yeah. And you know, it's funny you say that. There's been so many times I've cleaned the back alley behind my dad's gym. Um, Not for any other reason besides the fact that it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And
And even
yeah,
my neighbor, and this year, Cheyenne, it's been 10 times worse since Pace moved from right outside Victoriaville to the corner of George and Simpson. Everything
they
moved
moved.
to
I didn't
this,
know that they
and
moved.
yes, they moved from Victoriaville to our block with the underground, well, corner of George and Simpson. So all of the issues that were following them at Victoriaville just followed them down to
Yeah.
the new location, except for the new location is more out of the way. So the issues that were following them outside of Victoriaville are 10 times worse to the point they even set up a tent in the neighborhood where they were selling out of the tent.
Yeah.
I've tried telling city council about it. I've tried telling the police about it. Oh, well, they're only small time dealers. We're more interested in the people who are bringing in ounces and pounds. But
Yeah.
what about the people who are selling ounces and points and grams
Yeah. And what about
every day
the people like you who have to live beside it
in there?
and deal with that? Yeah, no, I get it. Like I do. Raynell, do you get it? Like are you
Of
understanding?
course, of course I'm understanding, and it goes back to like, of course, um, like what's the solution to this, right? Like if we can't get the organizations or the or other people involved where it's right outside their door too, it's like what is the
Yeah,
solution? So like I always try to think like how can what can we do?
right. And
Right? Like
and
because it should not be solely landing on you, Bill, to be going out there and trying to put a small dent in what's going on a regular basis.
Well,
I get
and it's
that. Like,
not just me. It's like everybody from my block and who lives in my build. We go out and we clean the back lanes
yeah,
every day. And we're sitting out front of our building, making our presence known. And we're telling all the people who stop in all the doorways, hey, 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 this isn't the block to be doing it. We had our block to the point where people like Cheyenne's dad could bring his kids out and literally run them all the way around the block just so that they can get out and do their exercise and work on it.
yeah.
Now we have to go out and he's got to be worried about, oh, well, they can't run past this back lane because every time they go by that back lane, there's some kind of a addict hanging out in that back lane and you never know what could happen or you never know what they might get into.
So you know what? You know what?
Shit like that
Yeah.
needs to get fixed.
So I have two things to say. The first thing I'm going to say is Raynell and I are organizing a next step narratives mission when I come down for my wedding. It is going to be the day after my wedding, and we're going to go out. And what I want to do is I want to go exactly to the spot that you're talking about. And me and Raynell are going to organize a cleanup there through our charity Next Step Narratives. I've already recruited some men from 3Cs who are going to come and help out. Talking to you, that is,
Well, that is amazing.
we're
I'll
also going to be
guarantee you,
handing out hats. And I would love if you would join us,
even
Bill. That would
my,
be amazing.
even me
This,
and my neighbors would probably love to join in on something
we
like
would love
that.
it too. So Next Step Narratives is going to step up and we're going to clean that area the day after my wedding. That is what I'm going to do. But
Well,
I have a second thing I want to say. So the second thing I want to say is what I'm hearing and what I'm listening to when I'm listening to you and I'm thinking about the person in that back alley. I'm thinking of two victims, not one offender and one victim. I'm thinking I see two victims in that situation, you
exactly.
and the person in that back alley. And both need just as much help as the other. And that's what I see
Mhm.
there. And that's what's
And
sad. And that's
who's
what's
gonna
sad.
give that help?
And that's what's sad is because the frustrations are going towards a victim that's where the go around keeps coming around and keeps coming around and keeps coming around
Yeah.
because it's becoming individualized like Raynell had said, it's becoming put on the individual, not the disease itself or the structural mechanisms that are in place that are not doing anything to help this disease. So we're all like people are pointing the fingers all in the wrong directions, is what I see. You know what I mean? Um, like, do you see what I'm kind of trying to say? It's just two
Yeah.
victims. You're a victim, and so are they. And it sucks that there is
And
nobody
who's
coming
gonna step up
to save
to fix
either
it?
one of them. There's nobody coming to save you, and there's nobody coming to save
Yeah.
that person in the back
City
alley.
council isn't,
Yeah,
these organizations, they're doing the best they can, but
yeah,
they need to step up. They need more funding.
yeah,
They need everything that they can.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
just my thoughts is we need the help. We shouldn't have to be going past businesses with gated up doorways because they need to gate up their doorways so that when they come to open up in the morning, they're not finding used needles and crack pipes and people passed out in their doorways when they come to open up their business in the morning.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like my block, just this summer, since Pace moved, pretty well every business on this block had to put gates up on their fronts and back entrances to keep the people out of their
yeah,
like doorways and back entrances and stuff like that. Is that even fair to the businesses?
yeah, 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 exactly. It's like I said, it's two victims. It's two victims in that situation. Raynell, do you have anything that you I have a battery of 10% on this, and you know that if I move this laptop, the internet is going way south. So
Yeah.
I want to know if Raynell
I
has anything
just,
else that she wants to say before.
yeah. One of the quick things I'd like to say is like, I feel like exactly what Cheyenne's saying. It's two victims. At the end of the day, um, what we're experiencing, and I don't know if this is the right wording, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's what came to my mind, is like we're experiencing a crumbling society
Yeah.
on all ends for everybody. And everybody's frustrated and everybody doesn't know what to do. And I think like, and that's what I hear because like I said, I work with Elevate and I work closely with these folks on the PA side and also down in the encampments on the Fort William side. Um and nobody is enjoying their circumstances at all, right? And it like Shine's saying, one person to the other, Bill, you and the person in the alley, like, and it's frustrating because everybody is just so frustrated, and it's like, where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Right, Bill? Exactly what you were saying.
Yeah,
How am I
exactly.
going to get somebody to listen? How am I going to get somebody to take me seriously? And this is the route I've had to take in
And
order
guess
to bring
guess what?
attention to what's going on. And it shouldn't have to be like that. And I think it would be beautiful. And I say this all the time, and some people are like, oh, you're like kumbaya over there thinking everything's gonna
I
be
love your
peace. But
kumbaya.
how beautiful would it be if we could all just see the person standing across from us is dealing with stuff too, no matter what the circumstances is. Bill, you, me, Cheyenne, like the person in the encampment, the person in the back alley, we're all struggling. We're all going through something, but we all ultimately want the same thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The,
How do
the
we
way
get
I
there?
well, the
Go ahead.
way I kind of look at it is, you know what? I raise my voice. I happen to use a little bit of colorful language and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, I get people's attention. I
Mhm.
get city council's attention. I have members of city council showing up at my door and having conversations with me. I
Mhm.
have people from Pace all of a sudden who seem to have been ignoring me, all of a sudden unofficially showing up at my door.
Yeah.
I may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I do get people's attention, do I not?
Yeah.
You sure
Well,
do, Bill.
I will tell you by announcing that we were having you on this podcast, I have never had so much publicity on my guest ever than you. I'll tell you that much. So yes, you are getting people's attention. Um, and
Yeah.
and you know what? And it's good. I understand the frustration. We're all the same. We all have the same goal in mind. We all are frustrated with the situation. We all are just taking different approaches. And I want to thank you, Bill, for coming on here. And I want to thank you
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
for showing us your approach, for explaining a little bit of where the frustration comes from. It allows me to understand that anonymous person online that's, bashing me when I'm talking, good about all of these people because they're just frustrated with them. Like it just helps me understand the other side of the coin a little bit more. And maybe it helps our viewers understand the other side of the coin a little bit more. And we can all use that. We can all use a little bit of understanding. So, how hypocritical would we be if we didn't listen to anybody and everybody's point of view? Because we are all pathways, all people, all inclusive, love for everyone. So,
No stigma, no
no
discrimination.
stigma,
Yes.
no stigma, no judgment. So we're not in a position to show stigma or judgment on anybody. So yes, I my computer is like about to die. Thank you so much for being here. Raynell, I know you're going to say a few words. Say thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks so much for being here with us, Bill. And thank you so much to our viewers. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the episode. And Bill, we'll see you at the end of the month for community cleanup with next
Yes.
step narratives. We're looking forward.
Oh, definitely. And I'd like
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
thank you both for inviting me to be on your podcast. And as always, everyone, Have a fantastic fucking day, y'all.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.